So roughly they say 70% of Hindus, they are Vaishnavas. So Vaishnava, it means that traditionally, in the orthodox interpretation of Vaishnavism, a monotheistic practice within Hinduism, although generally the Western academe, mainly of the previous century, 19th and 20th century, generally they presented Hinduism as a polytheistic tradition, right? Because in order to proselytize and convert people successfully to your particular tradition, you have to create as much contrast with what you have as possible in order to make your unique selling point more appealing, right? So because polytheism is generally taken by world philosophers, whether it be Aristotle, Plato, even in Greek or other traditions, generally the more philosophical class of a tradition, they generally lean towards monotheism because it has a clear understanding of what is an absolute point of origin. Because when you have multiple gods, then it becomes unclear who is the supreme, right? But the notion of God generally is always a concept of something being supreme or one source of everything. So, but because we are persons, generally most philosophies and world religions, they understand that that source is not just a vague energy or some light in the sky, but is personal. Because we are persons, so whatever is in the effect must be in the cause, right? So therefore 70% of Hindus are Vaishnavas, monotheistic, and there's different forms of God, but God is one. That's like somebody says Allah, right? Allah? Or Buddha. Well, Buddhists don't actually, you cannot technically call Buddhist spiritual because in their ontology, after Nirvana, Buddha didn't speak on it. It's like if you see in the deer park in Benares, when he was speaking about the soul, he only philosophically mentioned what the soul wasn't, but he didn't say what it was. Which is not to say he rejected theism, but he just didn't speak on it because as the traditional logic goes, that when you have the arrow in the foot, first think about how to get it out before you think about who did it, because you may die. So, although esoteric strands of Buddhism and Mahayana is leaning towards that, and Hindu interpretations of who the Buddha was, they take him as the incarnation of God. So we can say liberally Buddha is